Sit at the front door. We're just coming in from outside. He had a bunch of free time in the yard. Now I'm going to do this mat exercise with him. Have him sit, step in, step back. He waits for you to come back and get him. Okay. Pat your leg and say okay. And if you have to walk slow like this a little bit, that's okay, because you really want to teach him that this is the calm zone. He doesn't rush through doorways anymore. He doesn't pull you through. And we'll do it on the way out as well, and I'll show you when we're done with this. And then always have the mat ready to go when you go get him. And go get him, have him on a leash, bring him up to the mat, have him sit in front of the mat. He's going to be on your left, so with your right hand, pat his chest and say, make sure that he really waits though. Really waits until you pat his chest and say, go to your mat, and then say down. And most dogs love this exercise, so they really want to do this badly, so they might be a little over enthusiastic like that, and that's okay. And so you start off the exercise very simply, good. You just stand in front of him. You have this is the way I do it, and I recommend you do it the same way. You have the leash in your left hand, reward with your right. Good. And you can probably see, although I'm going to do it to the side so you can see that he's not grabbing the treat out of my hand. He's actually waiting respectfully until I withdraw to take it off the mat. It's very important that he be focused, non-reactive as much as possible on this mat. So I'll show you. See how he's waiting? Good. Always say good when he takes it. Timing's very important. When you say good the second he takes the food, well, he's going to have a great association with that word. Later on, when there's no food, you say good, and he almost thinks that he got a piece of food when he didn't. So once you've done that and he's doing that correctly, you can start doing things that are a little bit more difficult for him to handle, like walk around him both ways, like I just did, and then always. Good. Always coming back, no matter what you do, wherever you go, you always come back like this. So we're going to build up to harder and harder distractions, but he always knows that no matter where I go, what sounds are made, what distractions pop up, it always ends up the same way. You come back in front of him and reward him, because they thrive on knowing exactly how it's going to go. Good. And see how I'm not throwing the food down, I'm not moving quickly, I'm just staying calm, moving very calmly and not rushing around, because the calmer you are when you do this, the calmer the dog's going to be. He's going to soak up your calmness. Good. And he would soak up your stress or your excitedness if you were different. So you always have to focus and try to bring yourself here in the moment to make him better. It helps a lot if you do that. So he's good walking around like that, obviously. Whatever he does on the mat, he'll do outside in public. That's why this mat is such a great exercise, because it teaches him a real solid downstay that you start practicing without the mat, and he'll do the same thing without the mat. So that's why we do this. I just do this about 5 minutes a day, and it doesn't take much time, but it's a very important part of the training. So now that he's done all that, I'm going to try some harder things, like maybe sitting down, and maybe being distracting to him. Doing stuff like that kids might do. I know that you have kids, but he knows no matter what happens, he's going to stay there. Good. No matter what you do and how crazy it is, when you come back and you reward him, get yourself back into calm mode and reward him just the way you see me doing it here. So that's pretty easy for him. Maybe sitting on the sofa like this. Very often sitting on the sofa is it's an invitation for the dog to jump up and come say hi to you. But he knows the only one way he gets up is if he's released, no matter what else happens. Good. So let's try some harder stuff. I'm going to go in the back of the house and make some noise. Close the door behind me. Knock on the door, back in the hallway. Good. And in your house, of course, there's a bunch of other things you can do that I can't do here. Good. So if you keep practicing this in your house, You'll have a whole new environment to do this, the same exercise, which will make him way better if you continue doing it this way with all the distractions you can provide in your house. So this is going to be the hardest thing for him, like it is for most dogs. If you're ever going to do something that you think is difficult for him to handle, it's okay to remind him before you do it, down. Knocking on the door, ring the doorbell. That makes a lot of dogs bark. Made the dog next door bark, but not Clifford. Good. Good. And I gave him an extra big piece. When you do something that's harder for him to do, you should reward accordingly. So little simple things, you give him a little piece. If he does something exceptional, give him a big payoff. He'll never forget what he got paid for that he did, and he'll do it, he'll keep doing it better every time. This is usually hard for a lot of dogs. Banging on the windows, the mail flap, more doorbell, knocking. So we're going through all the most common distractions that people have in their living room or their front entryway. Those are usually everything, just about. Good, big payoff. Gave him a big, several pieces, big pile of food. And so there's so many things you can do. A lot of dogs, if you pull on the leash, they think you want them to come over to you. Good. So basically, every time that you try something new and he gets over it and realizes, oh, that's just another trick and I'm not supposed to get up, he gets a little bit better. So you just go down the list and check them off. There's a million things you could do. This is something that every dog reacts to when they first come here. I pull on the leash and they come to me because that's what everybody's done since day one on the leash. But he knows, nope, he doesn't get up until he's released in a very specific way. So when I'm going to release him, just like out in public, you want him to stay there no matter what. And the only way he ever leaves is when you come back to get him. And the way I do it is I stand next to him. I'll pat my leg and say, okay, and have him sit. In this case, we're going to have him sit at the doorway, and you release him from a sit stay off the mat, but in this case, we're going to take him outside and release him. We're going to do that front door thing again. This boundary training is super important. If you control the boundaries and he knows that, he's going to start perceiving you as the boss. Okay, also it's a great way, so he even kind of tried to walk ahead of me, so I just did a little prompt that slowed him down. But this is a great way to calm him down. Sit. You do this every day, and you do it as many times as possible, he's going to get calmer. So out here, see how he's all calm because he's on the clock working, but with my right hand I'm going to pat his chest and say, go. And see how he goes into crazy Clifford mode again. Not quite as bad as usual, but if he jumps, you don't touch him, you don't correct him, you wait till he stops jumping, and he will, because there's no payoff for jumping. Right now, you probably can't see it, but he's sitting down. I'm going to reward him. Good. Take the leash off. Leave him on a high note, so he left on a success. He jumped a little. He got no attention for jumping. I didn't say off or leave it or whatever people say. He stopped. I rewarded him, took the leash off, and I left, and he was calm. And even if he jumps against the windows or the doors or whatever, you ignore that. Don't talk to him. Go out and hook him up on his leash when you go back to get him in a way that keeps him calm, which I'll show you in the next video. I'm going to go out and get Clifford and show you how I've been getting him without a big hassle back on a leash, without the jumping and the craziness that I know you were having, and just the concepts involved in that. So if when he comes back he goes completely nuts for a while, which he probably will at first, most dogs do, no matter how many lessons we do with you, once I'm not there, to some extent he'll revert back to some of those behaviors that are really obnoxious. So this is what you're going to do when you're going to go outside to get him to bring him in. Have your reward, and we're using this Natural Balance sausage. This is the lamb flavor he really likes a lot. And have your leash. He's got his collar on already. And the first thing you do, you don't just step out there and allow him to jump. You start off the whole interaction with a way that gets it going your way. So the first thing you do is you walk out there and it's a treat right away, you see? Why would he jump if all the good stuff is down here on ground level? You don't have to kneel like I'm kneeling. You could also just, squat down like that and take the leash and hook him up to his little training collar, which is going to help you a lot. We're going to talk about his training collar. If he climbs on you, ignore that. Get him hooked up. Once he's hooked up on the leash, now you can control him a lot easier. And if you ever want to reset him, let's say he's going completely nuts. You got him on the leash, do some circles, sit, or just one circle, and have him sit at the end of that circle. And he's really excited because we have the camera person right there pointing this thing at us, which we never have, so he's extra excited. And always do your front door, or at any door, back door thing. He respectfully waits. He's in a sit stay. All these doorways at your house, I know, were the crazy zones for him, and you need to turn them into the calm zones now. And we'll do that. I'll help you when I come to your house, and we'll practice this. I'll make sure you're practicing it. But this is super important because you have to take him in and out of the doorways anyway. So why not use it as part of the training? Okay. Make sure you walk through slowly. See how calm he gets? And then you can back up now because we're going to do the crate. We're going to walk over to the crate. I want to show you how I've been using this crate. Have him sit in front of the crate. Wherever you're keeping it, no. See, when he tried to paw me or jump on me or whatever, I just went like this, and I said no, and he went back. No. He loves his crate. Therefore, this is also a tool for training. If he loves to be in there, then let's make him do something to earn going in there. That is a calm sit stay. No. And this is good that he's making all these little mistakes. He's super excited right now. No, because this is exactly what you're going to have to do. He's not going to come back to you all perfect like a machine that's been fixed. He's going to come back and he's going to try all his old stuff with you. And so you just saw, I just had to reset him a couple of times. He needs to really wait. He does that. See, I got the leash. No. He blew it. Close the door again. Do your little circle. And this thing that I'm doing right here applies to anything. Doorways, whatever you're doing that you want to send, you want to send him somewhere or let him do something, and you have him in a sit stay. You have to teach him, you have to regain self-control, or else you don't get the good thing that you want. So there's no food involved here at all. This is about going outside, going in the crate, going to say hello to somebody. You can just use that situation as the reward, and you don't have to use the food. So if he wants to go in there badly, see, he got it together because he wants to go in there. With your right hand, pat his chest and say, go in your crate. He goes in there. No. Once he's in there, he has to stay in there. He wants a treat, which is what he gets. No. Once he gets in the crate, he wants a treat. No, but he gets nothing unless he stays in there. See, we're just doing that universal move of your hands up and saying no. And let him go nuts if he wants to. No. So that was like either 3 or 4 times I had to do that. But watch what happens. No. Every time he comes out a little bit less. No. See how that move works? It's way easier than the other stuff you were doing, which was fighting him and pushing him around, and that didn't work anyway. It made him worse. So that was really good. I'm giving him 2 nice big pieces. Good, for doing it the right way. I'm going to reach in, and once you've done this a few times, you don't even have to look at it. Just take off this little training collar. It's attached to his leash. Nope. No. Wow, he's really excited. Nope. This is great for the video because this is what's going to happen to you at your house. Nope. Nope. All you have to do, just do this move and then he'll change. Every time you do this, it'll happen a little bit sooner. Nope. Sticking his head out is not going to happen. That's not the way we do it. Good. Once he does it the right way, you give him his reward, close the door. Now he's being this way here now because his crate is never in this room. It's usually in the back bedroom. And so it's in a new place and he's excited about that. We have the camera person here, which never happens. And usually in the other room he's a little bit calmer because he's used to that. So this is, to him, this is all new, but this is what's going to happen at your house too. And if he spins around or whatever in there, then that's not a big deal. Take the training collar, hang it on the door, and then you can always put the leash right on top. We give him these really yummy little bones in the crate, and this is just a marrow bone that he finished off, and then we restuffed it with peanut butter, frozen peanut butter. He loves these, and if you give him all the good stuff that he loves in the crate, he loves it even more because in his mind, good stuff happens when I go in there. He gets treats when he goes in there, he gets his bones in there. Don't give him any stuff that he loves outside of his crate, because your best friend is this crate, because that's a place where you can put him to manage him when you have a lot going on in the household, when you have friends over, little kids, friends of your children, and it's crazy, you know what he's going to do. So before they come over, goes in his crate in the other room, behind a door, closed door. He gets his rewards. He's going to be in there happy for a couple hours, chewing on his bone and doing whatever. He's going to start associating visitors coming with, that's when I get to go back there and get stuff that's very special to me. So never give away the special stuff that you find that he's crazy about. Don't give it away for free. Always save it for those times when you need to put him away, have him out of the mix so that your house isn't chaotic because of him. And it's a reward for being in the crate. And like I said, everything good happens in the crate. I feed him in there. Every time he goes in, he gets treats. You saw the way I just did it. Everything good in there. The crate's not a punishment. Every time you put him in there, even if you are upset with him, it's all good. It's never anything negative, and that way it'll get better and better, and he'll just want to be in there all the time, and that's really going to help you manage him throughout his life. When you're going to take him out of the crate, it's really everything in reverse. You take this little collar, you attach your leash to it first. Have everything ready before you open the door. So the collar is attached to the leash, and it's the funny looking buckle, the funny shaped buckle to the leash. This perfectly round thing is just a spacer, so you don't touch that. Make sure it's not twisted. It should be like this. If it's twisted like that, it's not going to work. So you can hang it like that, make sure it evens out, straightens out. It's not twisted. You get it attached to the leash. You open the door. You might have to do this. If he tries to run out or something, he's going to be super excited, of course, which he always is. I always go in when he waits. Good. Give him a treat. A little Natural Balance sausage. Reach in. Like I said earlier, it just gets really easy once you do it. You don't even have to look at it or anything. Put on his little collar just by feel. It's on. And that collar is put on, it's the highest collar up, so it's right under his ears. It's above the other one. Don't put it down lower on his neck. Put it right there. And you see throughout the videos how I use it. It's not for causing pain. It's not for corrections. With a dog like I almost said Stuart, but a dog like Clifford, you need to have as much control as possible, and this little mini prong collar really helps you a lot. So now he's hooked up, he's waiting to come out. And I can even stand back with a leash, and if you do this little exercise, good. Always reward him. See how once he calms down, he gets into the groove. This boundary is another important boundary. It's just like the front door. It's just like a curb or gateway. It's a very important boundary that you control. It's yet another thing that he does, that you do with him, that makes him think you're in charge. And also he has to calm himself down to go through this doorway. So the way you get him out is you pat your leg and say, okay. He's going to come out. Always close this door, because if this is not closed, you're going to squander your greatest power with the crate. You have to be able to control that boundary. If you can run in and out, it's not important anymore. So it's always closed when he's in, and it's always closed when he's out. Okay. Then we're going to put him outside again. Sit. And if he doesn't sit right away, you don't repeat yourself. You just reset. pull up with just a little bit of pressure and he'll go there. If this is the back door, you do this at the back door. Okay. And then when you're on the outside, sit, take off the leash, go. Release him to be free. Ignore the jumping, go back inside. Sit. Good. Notice how as soon as he sat, I had a little treat between my thumb and my forefinger. I rewarded him straight down. He was looking at me, eye contact, just like that. Good. So resist that urge to go like this, because basically, you know, it's not half as good as having eye contact when he takes the reward from you, because basically he's just waiting for the giant hand to come out of the sky, and he probably looks at you as more of his servant than the person in charge if you don't have the eye contact at the moment of getting the treat. It seems like a little thing, but you know, I do this 15, 20 times a day, and you will too, and it just develops this higher level of paying attention to you, eye contact, thinking that you're the boss, you're above him, he's below, he's looking up at you. It's just a really important little thing that's great to do every time. Once you do it every time, it just becomes like second nature. And you notice when I said sit, I didn't say stay. There is no stay. I've never said stay once with him. I just taught him that when I say sit, it means to stay there and wait until he's released. And now I've done 2 walk around sit stays. And if he's really good like that, you can always walk back next to him, do another treat. Watch how I'm doing this. I got the treat. I stand back next to him. He's on my left. I got the treat by my eyes here. Good, straight down. He's looking at me as he takes the treat. Now when he's in a sit stay, you can release him by patting his chest and saying go, and he just goes. Or you can, if you're going to walk with him, you can pat your leg and say okay, like that, and he'll walk with you and make sure he's in training mode. Then make sure that he stays next to you. You might have to do like these little prompts with the leash like this and left circles. Sit. If he ever ignores that command, never repeat anything. You have a leash on him, and you should only be doing this with a leash right now, and you just reinforce it with a little bit of pressure. You're not jerking, popping, pulling, any of that. It's gentle but firm. It's a little bit of pressure. His butt will hit the ground, and you release. All this is very gentle but firm handling, and can just be consistent. Talk less, do less, no repeating of commands. There's a way to reinforce any command that he ignores at first without you ever saying it again. Okay. Down. Good. When he's in a down, I reward him a little bit differently. I come out in front. I got the treat here, just like on the mat. Good. So I don't really have him go down on grass or some uneven surface like that. If I'm out in public, it's going to be something like, you know, pavement or something like that. But I guess if you had him on grass, or you'd never, I don't think you want him to go down in dirt, but if you did, you could always go like this and go like this. No, and you take it out of your hand. Good. But that's probably not likely to happen much. The point is that when you say down, of course he does it the first time, just like you saw me doing. Stay is built into down. So you never say stay, there is no stay. There's way less talking if you're not saying stay, stay, stay all the time, which never worked well anyway. You just say down, it means to stay. He waits for the release command. And so even like we're out in a fenced yard, so I can drop the leash and walk farther away. If he gets up, there's nowhere for him to go. It's safe. So I could walk farther away, come back, reward him. Good. I could do something really difficult for him, which is to go out the gate. And of course this is a difficult thing, so I'm going to remind him down. And this is the gate that we all come through. Like when he's loose in the yard, he's running around, we come to this gate and he goes nuts because we're coming back. So this is really hard for him to stay there. And then I'm going to disappear out on the street with him in a downstay, which is really hard for him. Close the gate behind me. Come back, seeing if I can make him make a mistake for you, but I guess we practiced too much, so he's really good now. But if he'd gotten up and he came running over, I would have come back in, I would have said no. I would have taken the leash, I would have just walked him back like this, done a little circle like this, put him back exactly where he is now. Reinforce that down. I wouldn't have said down again, I just would have said no. Put him back, gone back and done it again. The second time he would have gotten it together and been there when I came back, because he knows how this goes. He knows we're going to be here all day unless he regains self-control and does it the right way. In this case, he did it the right way, so he gets a big payoff. Good. When he doesn't do it right, gently but firmly, calmly, put him back, do it again, no reward. When he does it the right way, you come back and reward him. So never drop the leash unless you're in a fenced yard or a safe place. Like, you wouldn't do this out in public. In public, you can just do hold the leash, walk around him, but don't let go of the leash. And if he gets up before you release him, you just say no, step on the leash, he'll go back. No reward, continue the exercise. The only way that he leaves a downstay, just like the mat exercise, is when you come back, stand next to him, pat your leg, okay, have him sit. This time I'm going to release him to be free with my right hand. Go. Now he's free. He can run around and be a nut. If he tries to jump on you, you just ignore him like that. That's what he might try to do. This is good to leave in here. Nope. He tends to be even more excited when the leash is on. But see, I didn't touch him. I didn't talk to him. If I wasn't talking to you right now, I wouldn't be talking at all. Nope. Once he stops jumping, nope. Good. He only gets petted when he stays on all fours. Good things happen on all fours for him. Nothing happens. He doesn't get corrected. You don't talk to him. You don't push him away. Nothing happens when he jumps. Therefore, that's why this whole behavior, this jumping thing, is starting to go away, because there's no payoff. Payoff is for calming down, being on all fours. He gets a lot of this. If he jumps, it all stops. And he knows that now. Okay. Just want to show you how I've been practicing the come command with Clifford. If he's off leash, which I think you might have that happen in your backyard or front yard, you're going to need to call him to come to you. And let's say that he's hanging out looking at me, but he's just right on the edge of jumping around and being crazy again. So let's have him be off leash. Well, he's got a leash on, but that's the way I think you should do it for a while, because I don't want to deliver him and practice with you and then have him run around and not come when called. So you should have him have a leash on just for a while, maybe just the first week, so that if he ignores you when you say that, you just go and grab the end of the leash or step on the leash so you can reinforce that command. So I'll leave it on for this little exercise here. I'm going to throw this so he'll be far away from me. Hey, don't you want this? Go get that. Look, go get it. And call him from a distance. Come. So even that, though, good. He had a few little treats there that are still on the ground. He still came to me. So let's do another scenario. Sit. I'm gonna throw some more over there. Go. There's a bunch of treats. Let's pretend that I said the command and he ignored me. I'm not going to repeat it. I'm going to go over there. He's got the leash on, like what you're going to do for a while. I'm going to step on the leash, or at least I'm going to pick it up. And I said the command like 10 seconds ago. I'm just going to reinforce it. Good. I'm still going to say good. All he knows, he heard it once. He ended up coming to you because of the way you reinforced it when he ignored you. You said good, he got a treat, everything is good. That's all he knows. You never want that come command to be like, fun time's over, get over here, get away from that, you're stressed out, you're mad at him, he's going to run away from you. So it always has to be come means, hey, I have a gift for you. So even if you feel that way, if you want this to go better every time, you want to at least pretend that everything's good, get a treat, make sure you have a treat when you go out there, and that every time he comes to you, it's something really good that you had that you wanted to give him. And that will be his impression of that command, and that's why he'll have that. I mean, he has a pretty high level recall with us here, but I don't want him to regress and do what he was doing before, ignoring you and running around while you chased him all over the place, because that doesn't help you, obviously. I've been practicing with Clifford with his recall a lot because that's a very important command for you, obviously. And just to break it down, when I'm practicing with him in the yard, in the street, wherever we are, left hand leash, see how the leash is over my hand like that, right hand reward, always call him to a closed target because throughout his whole life, he'll never know if there's anything in there or not, and most likely in a crisis situation, in an emergency, you're not going to have treat. So, but he won't know that when you call him. So don't call him to a half open hand or a hand or whatever. Call him to this target, okay? So in this case, left hand leash, right hand reward. He won't stop looking at me, and you always want to call the dog away from something. So calling him to you when he's looking at you lovingly like this, standing in front of you, is not obviously a real life situation. But what is a real life situation is he's moving away from you, or he's interested in something over there. He hears the command, breaks away, comes running back to you. So that's what we're going to practice right now. But I'm going to have to use a decoy here. A treat, go, he follows that, come, calling him away from that, backing away, good. So he came to me, his nose touched my target, it opened, I said good, and I grabbed the leash all at the same moment. Let's do it again. Sit. Go. Come. See how I'm backing away? When you back away, the dog can't help it. He's drawn to you. Good. See how everything happened at once? He got the treat. I said good, and I grabbed the leash. Because if you don't grab the leash, he's going to learn. This dog is so smart, he's going to learn he can grab the reward and run away. So you have to have that. If he doesn't have a leash for some reason, grab his collar. So that he knows when he comes to you, he has to at least sit, and then you release him again. Those are the basic concepts. Always back away, because that makes him run to you. If you teach him and you work this way with him for a while, later on you won't have to back away because of the way you taught him made him run to you every time. That's the kind of recall you're going to have, a good one where he just like comes running back to you like a bullet. If you don't do these steps, then you're going to have, a so-so recall where he only comes back sometimes or he comes back slowly, and that's not a good one. Sit. So with this greeting routine, I always walk Clifford up to the new person. You never have a new person approach him or any dog. You always have the person there. You approach that person. He's done this a million times. I'm just going to show you what we practice with a lot of people. You have your treat, you step away from him. He has a sit stay, so he stays there. He knows that I'm giving her, the new person, a little treat for him, but he has to wait for me to come back next to him and pat his chest and say, go say hi. He gets the treat, and then you say, come, call him back to you, good. And then step into him, have him sit. And I'm just going to do this 3 times just to show you the moves. And if you do this with people, he's done so many of them here now. Right there, that tells him this person must be okay, because I only do this with people, and every time I do it, it's okay, and the people are always okay. So that's a big reason for doing this with him. Go. Also, come. It keeps him from jumping on people. Good, because all the good stuff is down here, the petting, the rewards. And at first, he's going to be super excited, obviously, if you have a visitor come to your house, and he's going to want to jump pretty quickly, but that's why you call him away within like a few seconds before he jumps. And then if you do it that way, every time you send him over, he'll be able to stay there a little bit longer, and that's how you get him from not jumping on visitors and being disrespectful and obnoxious and annoying. Sit. It's all built in there now, so you just have to do my moves. And he knows how to do this. He's done this hundreds of times now. Go say hi. Come. See, he was about to jump on her maybe, so I called him back to me. Sit. And it's a great little exercise because you got the sit stay, you've got the go command, you've got come. And it's just another way to practice your basic obedience with him.